Hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is Jim. Hope you're doing awesome. Today, our topic is how to get off to a good start in a speech or presentation. I think this is something that people don't talk about nearly enough. And it's honestly, it's just super important. I'm testing this right now. My mic is here, changed the lighting in the room. So hopefully, this looks a little bit better than the last ones. As you can tell, I am doing everything I can to make this technology work. My apologies if the video is not great. My apologies if the audio isn't 100% fantastic. But I'm a work in progress. I'm shooting for success, not perfection. It is what it is. Anyway, so how to get off to a good start in presentation. This is super important. This is something a lot of people don't talk about, like I said before. Really, the biggest thing is when you're walking into a room to give a presentation, or if you're sitting in a meeting and your time is coming to give a presentation, if you're able to start strong and just get off to a good start, it just makes everything way, way easier for you. It really sets the tone. It helps you build confidence. One of the things that I think is awesome about it as well is when you do get off to a good start, it gives you a jolt of confidence because you collect an easy win, right? So much of public speaking, and I think so much of life, if you zoom out, is just getting wins, right? Just getting these small wins and just stacking wins. I always talk to people when I'm working with them about stacking wins and doing everything you can to get as many wins as possible, especially if they're small. Hey, you woke up in the morning, you made your bed. That's a win. You tied your shoe. That's a win. You said hi to somebody in the hallway. That's a win. All of these are wins. All of those wins work to build confidence and really wires your brain to show that you're a person who wins a lot. So anyway, that's why a strong start is so important, why getting off to a good start is so important. So let's talk about one of the easiest ways to do this, right? And one of the easiest ways to get off to a strong start is really is your introduction, right? So when you're thinking about how you're introducing yourself when you're in a meeting or you're on stage or in a classroom or whatever, 9 times out of 10, when you see people do this, they really struggle with this, right? Someone will get up and they'll say, "Oh, hey, I'm Jim. I'm a project manager. I am," and they blather on for 2 minutes and everyone in the room is like, "Oh my God, what is happening with this person? What can we do to make this go a little faster?" So what I always recommend doing is really think about a couple of things in your actual intro. And I always like to work using the rule of threes. We'll talk about this a lot in the future. We've talked about it a little bit in the past, but rule of threes, you can usually, as human beings, we can usually hold 3 ideas in our head before our brain gets overwhelmed. So the rule of threes as it relates to a strong start is remember your name, where you're from or what you do, and then a greeting. And before you get into any of those things, you really want to know your why of the presentation. So who are you speaking to? What time are you speaking to them? Why should they care? Have all those things figured out in your brain before you even talk to them. And again, we always use the method, always recommend the EEI method, which means when you're giving a speech, presentation, or talk or whatever, I don't care what it is, you've got basically 3 different things you can do to have a favorable speech, a good speech. And that is to educate, entertain, or inspire. Really, it's those 3 things. Again, rule of threes. Only 3 things that are the part of any good presentation. And you want to think about the mix that you want in your presentation, right? Because who are you talking to and why should they care to listen? And I mentioned this before in something else. Can you be entertaining with a really boring topic? So let's say you're presenting financial stuff and you're using a lot and you're talking a lot about Excel. Like Excel, it's not exactly super exciting for most people, but if you're talking about Excel, you could say something, "Hey, look, when Excel first came out, it was actually called Mr. Spreadsheet and it's got hidden games in it," right? That's something that's a little entertaining. You take a topic that's a little bit not as exciting and make it a little bit more interesting and or exciting. So anyway, so that knowing your why is really the precursor to how you start, but it is the base camp of how you start. So the other part of this is in those 3 things of your name, where you're from or what you do, and then a greeting. Again, it's really going to set the tone for your presentation. If you have this worked out, it makes you appear confident and less freaked out. And again, gives you a small win right away. So how do you do this? Pretty simple. So your name. So whatever your name is, whatever your first name is, you say your name. You can either say where you're from or what you do. Both of those should be really short phrases. So for me, it would be, "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm from Boston." "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a coach." "Hi, I'm Jim. I love to surf." "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a project manager." whatever it is, right? So you know your first name and just either come up with where you're from or what. You do not need to do both. And then when you do that, those are the first two parts. Then you come to the third part, which is a greeting. Most people don't do this. And I think it's one of the most important things that you can do to really connect with your audience right away. And you want to just keep it short and you want to keep it really simple. And if you really want expert level knowledge on this, make eye contact with one person in the room or one person in the crowd. So you would say something like, "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm from Boston. I'm glad to be here today. Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm a project manager. It's nice to be here with you. Hi, I'm Adrian. I'm in my 4th year at university. It's great to see you all today." So keep it really short, but the greeting, what you're doing in that greeting is you're acknowledging their presence. So you're acknowledging the fact that there are other people in the room. And if you say it strong, people will just subconsciously start to connect with you. And when you're doing this, some of the mistakes you want to avoid is you don't want to ramble. Definitely don't ramble. We've all been in those situations where we see people ramble and they'll go, "Hey, I'm Jim. I'm a project manager. I worked at Hewlett Packard for 5 years. Then I got married. Then we had our first kid and we have a dog named Lucky. And boy, do I like cooking tamales. And did I say, again, I'm a project manager. I started at Hewlett Packard." And just when someone's droning and rambling on like that, I always see it and I feel so bad for them. And I'm just like, oh my God, please land the plane. So think of this as you're just trying to land the plane in your intro. And they are just flying around and just wasting fuel, wasting time. The other thing is you don't want to, another mistake to avoid or try to avoid is mentioning non-essential info or info that really maybe you don't want the crowd to know or stuff that they might not care about or might not agree with. So if you went up and said, "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a Jehovah's Witness and I live in Boston." The fact that you're a Jehovah's Witness, that's not a big deal either way, but it's probably not something that you really need to mention to a group of people that you don't know. Try not to bring non-essential info, definitely religion or politics, into your greeting. And then the third mistake to avoid is making any jokes. So please, if you get nothing else out of this podcast, please don't make a joke when you first go up. In the best case scenario, half the room will laugh and half the people will think you're an idiot. Worst case scenario, everyone will think you're an idiot. Don't lead with a joke. You can have a humorous speech if you want, but don't lead with a joke. So don't ramble. Don't give non-essential info. Don't make jokes. The other thing we always recommend too, I always recommend is don't say thanks for your time, right? Because when you say, "Hey, I'm Jim. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me," you're immediately putting yourself below their level, right? You're the one presenting. I don't care if it's a meeting with 2 people or you're in a room with 1,000 people. You're the expert. You're the one presenting. You're the one on the stage. You're the one in the spotlight. You're the expert. So don't say thanks for your time. That would be like having brain surgery and having the surgeon come in after the surgery and saying, "Hey, thanks for letting me operate on you." You just don't do it. You're the expert. Don't say thanks. So don't ramble. Don't add non-essential info. Don't make jokes. And don't say thanks for your time. So again, the example on this and what you want to do is you want to say your name, where you're from, and a quick greeting. And honestly, the greeting, this is the one I would probably practice the most because certain things just will make sense in your voice that won't make sense in someone else's voice. And there'll be certain things that you can say that just roll off the tongue and are easy for you. And then other things that really don't work. And I'll give you an example. For me, it's easy for me to say, "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm from Boston. and I'm stoked to be here today. I'm glad to be talking to you today." Those are relatively easy for me to say. But if I say, "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a coach and it's nice to be here with you all today." That's actually harder for me to say, "It's nice to be here with you all today." I struggled actually to say that and it's just not comfortable for me. So find a greeting that's comfortable for you. Again, mine, "Hi, I'm Jim. I'm from Boston. Really excited to be here with you today." Some version of that is what I say. Keep it short, keep it simple, say it strong, try to make eye contact in the room. And this will really help you to get off to a good start in a presentation. And it will really help you to set the right tone. And in many ways, it sets the right tone. It helps you build your confidence, gives you a win right away. And it immediately levels you up in the opinion of the people in the crowd when you're able to start strong. it's the easiest way to give a good speech, right? Start strong. Because if you start weak or you start rambling and you're not landing the plane and you're just all over the place, it's way harder to give a good speech at that point, right? If you're able to start strong, you'll then give a much better speech. Hopefully this will be helpful. If you have any questions, as always, you can always email me at jim@happytospeak.com. I'm at happytospeak.com for events, coaching, other info. Check us out. I'm on TikTok, actually, at happytospeak.com. It's been pretty fun. I don't know anything about TikTok, but I'm trying it out. And then you can always go to the website, happytospeak.com. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys have an awesome day.